You don't just stumble into strong relationships. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have unbreakable connections. No, relationships, whether in marriage, friendship, or family, are built, not found. They require effort, they require patience, and most of all, they require a decision to keep showing up, even when it's hard. Too many people believe that strong relationships just happen. They think that if they meet the right person, if they have the perfect chemistry, if they find someone who just gets them, then everything will fall into place. But that's not how it works. Strong relationships don't appear out of nowhere. They aren't discovered like hidden treasures. They are built brick by brick, day by day, through intentional choices and unwavering commitment. Think about it. When you see a strong marriage, a lifelong friendship, or a family that stays united through thick and thin, you're not seeing a lucky accident. You're seeing the result of years of effort, sacrifice, and dedication. You're seeing two people who have chosen again and again to invest in their relationship, even when it was difficult. Building a strong relationship requires consistent effort. Just like a house needs a strong foundation to stand firm through storms, relationships need a foundation of trust, honesty, and love. And that foundation isn't built overnight. It's built through the little things. Choosing to listen instead of argue, showing up when it's inconvenient, forgiving even when it's hard. And let's be real, relationships will be tested. There will be misunderstandings. There will be moments when you feel like walking away. But here's the difference between people who have strong relationships and those who don't. Strong relationships don't avoid problems. They work through them. They don't wait for things to magically fix themselves. They address issues head on with humility and grace. One of the biggest lies people believe is that relationships should always be easy. That if it gets too hard, it must not be right. But listen, anything worth having requires effort. You don't quit a job because there's a tough season. You don't abandon your dreams because the process gets difficult. So why would you expect relationships to be any different? You have to put in the work. You have to be intentional. You have to choose love even when you don't feel it. Choose communication even when silence feels easier. And choose to stay when leaving seems like the simplest option. And I know some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm the only one trying? What if I'm the only one building? Hear me. When you start showing up with love, patience, and consistency, it creates an atmosphere for change. Your effort won't go unnoticed. And even if the other person doesn't respond the way you hope, you will grow in the process. Because building strong relationships isn't just about changing the other person. It's about becoming the kind of person who fosters deep, lasting connections. So today, make a decision. Stop waiting for perfect relationships to find you. Start building the relationships you want to have. Be intentional, be patient, be consistent, and watch how, over time, something unshakable is created. Not by accident, but by choice. We live in a world that tells us to be strong, to have it all together, to never let people see our weaknesses. We are taught that if we want to be loved, we have to be perfect. That if we want to be respected, we have to hide our struggles. But let me tell you something. Reality, relationships aren't built on perfection. They're built on authenticity. So many people are walking around wearing masks, pretending everything is fine when inside they're struggling. They're afraid that if they show their true selves, their fears, their insecurities, their past mistakes, people will leave. But the truth is, the strongest relationships are not the ones where everything looks perfect from the outside. They're the ones where people feel safe enough to be real. Think about it. When have you felt the deepest connection with someone? Was it when they were acting like they had everything figured out? Or was it when they let their guard down and shared something real? True connection happens when people are willing to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable doesn't mean dumping all your emotions on someone or constantly seeking validation. It means having the courage to be honest about how you feel. It means saying, I'm struggling, instead of pretending you're fine. It means saying, I need help instead of pushing people away. It means saying, I love you without fear of how the other person will respond. Vulnerability creates trust. When you open up to someone, you give them the opportunity to do the same. You break down walls. You create a space where honesty is welcome. But when you refuse to be vulnerable, when you keep your emotions locked inside, you don't just protect yourself from pain, you block yourself from real connection. And I know what you're thinking. What if I get hurt? Yes, vulnerability comes with risk. Not everyone will handle your heart with care. Not everyone will respond the way you hope. But let me ask you this, what's the alternative? Living behind walls, never letting anyone truly know you? That's not strength. That's loneliness disguised as protection. The people with the strongest relationships aren't the ones who never get hurt. They're the ones who choose to keep showing up anyway. They're the ones who say, I'd rather risk being hurt than live without real connection. They're the ones who understand that love, real love, requires openness. So today, make the choice to be real. To take off the mask, to stop pretending and start living with authenticity. Because the relationships that matter most aren't the ones where you impress people. They're the ones where you allow yourself to be known. And when you do that, you'll realize something powerful. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the foundation of the strongest relationships you will ever have. We live in a world that tells us love is all about feelings, that love is butterflies in your stomach, romantic gestures, and an effortless connection. And yes, feelings are a beautiful part of love. But if you build your relationships on feelings alone, they will not last. Because love is not just a feeling, it is a decision. Feelings change. One day, you feel deeply connected, and the next, you feel distant. One moment, you're overflowing with affection, and the next, you're frustrated and annoyed. If love were only based on feelings, then relationships would be unstable. But real love, the kind that lasts, is built on commitment, not just emotion. Think about it. When you love a child, you don't stop loving them because they have a bad day. When you love a friend, you don't abandon them just because they make a mistake. Love endures because it is a choice, a decision to keep showing up, even when it's not easy. This is why strong relationships don't happen by accident. They require daily decisions to listen, to forgive, to put in the effort, even when you don't feel like it. Love is deciding, I will be patient with you even when I'm frustrated. I will choose kindness even when I'm annoyed. I will keep building this relationship even when it feels easier to walk away. And let's be honest, sometimes love is inconvenient. Sometimes it asks you to put someone else's needs above your own. Sometimes it challenges you to forgive when your pride wants to hold a grudge. But that's what makes love powerful. It's not just an emotion that comes and goes. It's a deep, intentional commitment to another person. Now, some people hear this and think, so you're saying I should ignore my feelings? No, feelings matter, but they cannot be the foundation of your relationships. Feelings should follow your decisions, not lead them. Because when you choose love daily, feelings of love grow deeper. If you only stay in a relationship when it feels good, you'll leave the moment things get tough. If you only love when it's easy, your love will never have the strength to withstand challenges. But when you decide to love, when you make that choice every single day, you build something unshakable. So today, make the decision to love intentionally. Not just when it's easy, not just when you feel like it, but every single day. Choose to listen. Choose to be present. Choose to forgive. Choose to stay committed. Because the strongest relationships aren't the ones that never face struggles. They are the ones where two people keep choosing each other over and over again.